Okay, we're recording. Okay, does anybody know the definition for exceptions? Has anybody done exceptions in another class? So write down the definition of exceptions in Python is, it's an event that interrupts the flow of the program. So basically an error. So an exception is basically an event that interrupts the flow of a program. Yeah.
Is it related with the pass?
With the pass?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you do pass, then you can avoid,
Okay.
but we'll see how to do that. We'll do without pass, but let's see. Okay, so for that, let's do a basic math example. Let's define m to be, say, 6. And let n to be an input from a user. So can somebody help me? How can I take an input from a user? What do I type here? I want n to be an input, yeah. So you say input. And in the bracket you say enter a does that make sense? How can we make this better? Yeah. Float, right? Number is not a string, so you put a float. Okay, and let's try to print m divided by n. Okay, so let's run this and enter a number. So now what if I enter 0? Right, I'm dividing two numbers, but in place of n, I'm entering 0. What do you think will happen?
What?
So I'm asking the user to give me n, and it's a number, right? So if somebody enters 0, then what do you think should happen? It'll give you n. And what is this error called? It's an exception, but a particular exception. It's called, so look at this. This particular exception is called zero division error. So write down the first exception we'll do is zero division error. Okay, let's try to run it again. Did that make sense? What happened? What happened? We'll see. It's not possible. We'll see. Okay, if I run this again, and if somebody instead of a number gives you an alphabet, we are telling them to give us a number, but they give us an alphabet. So will we get an error or no?
Yes.
We will. And what is this error called? So write down the second exception we'll learn is called a value error. A value error, second exception. Does that make sense? Hold on. Ritik, you don't look happy. Is it? Sorry?
Can you see after print?
Can you see after print?
Yeah.
Here?
Yeah.
M divided by n.
After that.
After that, nothing. You just run the program.
something like that.
Okay, first exception. So if you enter 0, then you get 0 division error. If you divide by 0, that's the first exception. Second exception is if you give an alphabet. Is it making sense? Two exceptions. Let's do one more exception. What if I tell you find the length of m divided by n? What does the len function do? Anyone? What does the len function do? We did this when we did strings, I think. Find the length of your string. So let's see if I run this, what happens? It's telling me give a number. So if I give 3, look at this. The answer is an error because you cannot find the length of a number. You can only find the length of a string. And make a note, the error in this case is called the type error. So third exception, type error. Okay, listen. So this is the code that has potential to give errors. And we'll call this code the dangerous code. So right now, dangerous code is something that can give you an error.
It's something that gives or can.
Can, has potential to give you an error. Something, if you take an input from a user, there's always a potential for error. We don't talk. What is it? Question? Okay, so write down whatever the dangerous code is. You will have to always write that in try. And put a, what is this called? Semicolon or colon. And whatever the code is needs to be indented. Make a note. Whatever the code is, okay, why is it saying it's an error? Okay. Okay, so whatever the code is needs to be inside try. And at the end of try, you will have to write the exceptions. So the exceptions are written with except. Is it making sense?
Yes.
The dangerous code goes inside try, possible exceptions. What is the first exception we learned? So you say except 0 division error. Put a comma and press enter. So if somebody is giving you 0 as a number, you say print. And you say cannot divide by 0. Does that make sense? So instead of giving an error, it will give you a message. So let's try and run this. Let's get rid of the length for now. Okay, if I run this, and now if I give 0 as a number, Will it give me an error?
No.
Instead, it will tell me cannot divide by 0. So very good, very important. Right now, this is called handling exceptions. Okay, so let's do the three errors we learned. What was the second error we learned? So you say except. What should I type? So you say except value error. So if somebody gives you an alphabet, what will you say? Print only numbers allowed. Is that making sense? And there's one more error we learned. So you say except. What was the third one? Type error. Colon. And you say print. So for the type error, you say this operation is not allowed. You cannot do length on a. So you say this operation not allowed. Okay, so these are the three main ones, but there are a lot of exceptions. So to include all the other ones, you say except, and you write them all together. So you say exception, all of them together. So you give the three main on the top, and then for any other errors, you say exceptions. Then you print for exceptions, you say something went wrong. Right? You don't know what, you don't want to know, but you say something went wrong. So let's try and run this. Okay, let's include length now. So now if I run this, and I give a number, what if I give a 0 here? Which one of the three will it print? So if I say 0 and enter, it's printing the first one. So make a note, it's not even going to the length. It's taking the error and directly jumping to accept. Okay, so two main things, try, accept, and one more thing at the end. Does anyone know what is it called? Try, accept, and? No, pass, passes, and functions. We'll see that later. Maybe we've seen that. Write down try, accept, and finally. So write down the three things are try, accept, finally. And make a note, the finally code will always run no matter what. So whatever you put in finally will always run.
The final is an exception, right?
No, finally is part of the command. Exceptions are these ones. 0, value, error, and all. So in finally you print, that's the end of program. So no matter what happens, it will always print end of program. So if we run this, and I give hi here again, what do you think will be the output if I just give hi? Any guesses? Which one will it pick? value error. So it will say only numbers allowed, but it will also say, let's hope it runs that way. So look at that. Or you can say try again or something here, because they're giving incorrect answers. Let's see, what if I give a proper number? What if I give, say, 3?
It will do the n divided by n or the opposite.
So let's see, if I run this, it's giving you an error. It's also calculating this. But for the length, it's telling you that this operation is not allowed. So it will always pick the error and go to the message of that error. Make a note. And the finally will always run. So just make a note from now on, if the question says take an input from a user, always put that in try, and then everything else in finally. Okay, that was the basics of exceptions. Sorry, basic of exceptions. That's the first topic for today. Let me stop recording.